Hi, boys and girls. We're pretending like we're on a farm today, and Leopold's my little scarecrow. Because the book I'm going to read is about a kindergarten teacher who takes her class to a pumpkin farm to pick pumpkins. Now, I have to tell you, this teacher's kind of fun. She's a little silly, too. But you're going to hear a lot of rhyming words in this book. Not all the words rhyme, but a lot of them do. So you might remember rhyming words are words that have the same middle and ending sounds, but not the same beginning sound. Our story today is Pick a Pumpkin, Miss Millie. And she also says some silly words. Pick a pumpkin, Miss Millie. Miss Millie, our teacher, is really silly. Good morning, class, she says. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you too, Mrs. Millie, we say. Now you're going to see a lot of mice in this picture. Today we're going to the pumpkin pets, Mrs. Millie tells us. Don't be silly, Mrs. Millie. You mean the pumpkin patch. We'll pick pumpkins for our harvest party and bring them yak to school. No, we shout. You mean back to school. We line up to get on the bus. It's cold today, Mrs. Millie says. Don't forget your jackals. Don't you mean our jackets? We ask, giggling. At the farm, Farmer Don greets us at the gate. We'll go on a hayride, says Mrs. Millie. Everybody on the dragon. Don't be silly, Mrs. Millie. You mean the wagon. The hayride takes us down the road. Look, calls Mrs. Millie, a harecrow? We know what you mean, a scarecrow, we tell her. We climb off the wagon and run into the field. Be sure to pick a pig one, calls Mrs. Millie. Mrs. Millie, you mean a big one. We wade through the muddy field. Look for round orange pumas, calls Mrs. Millie. Pumpkins, we shout. After everyone has found a pumpkin, we load them onto the wagon. Now we will visit the barn, says Mrs. Millie. You can be the animals. Don't be silly, Mrs. Millie. You mean see the animals. See how all the animals look like bees? We feed the horses. We toss grain to the chickens. Miss Millie takes a picture of the pigs. Time to pet the boats, she says, smiling. Silly Mrs. Millie, you mean the goats. Mrs. Millie pets a billy. She sure is a fun teacher. Let's help Farmer Don snake the leaves, says Mrs. Millie. You're so silly, we cry. You mean rake the leaves. We jump into the leaf pile. Looks like they're having a lot of fun. I spy a corn maze, says Mrs. Millie. Who wants to play hide and sheep? Hide and seek, Mrs. Millie, we yell. Ready for some hot apple spider? Asked Mrs. Millie. You mean apple cider, we say. How can you be so silly? Finally, it's time to leave. We'll take our pumpkins back to Mule, says Mrs. Millie. We know you mean back to school, we shout. We can carve them into gecko-lanterns, silly Mrs. Millie. You mean jack-o'-lanterns, we tell her. Wasn't the pumpkin patch fun? Mrs. Millie says as we line up for the bus. Yes, Mrs. Millie, we had fun, we shout. Farmer Don loads our pumpkins onto the bus. Thank you, we tell him. As the bus pulls away, we wave goodbye to Farmer Don and his billy boats. Now, I'm sure you heard some words that rhyme in our story. I'm going to let you take that off, baby. And like silly and Millie and boats and goats, I bet you can find even more. And you can probably even make up some of your own rhyming words. Well, thank you so much, boys and girls, for letting us join you today. Leopold, can you say bye? Bye, everyone. Thank you.